All right, Republicans on Capitol Hill slamming Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg for his weaponization of the justice system, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who tweeted that Bragg is, quote, attempting to interfere in our democratic process. He's vowing that Congress will hold him accountable. Joining us now with reaction in the Senate, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, always good to see you. You know, your Senate colleague, Utah Senator Mitt Romney, not a fan of President Trump, but even he says that the prosecutor's overreach sets a dangerous precedent for criminalizing political opponents and damages the public's faith in our justice system. When someone like Mitt Romney says that, how bad do you think it is?
It's pretty bad, and he's way more than attempting to interfere in the election process. He is interfering in the election process.
Yeah.
The way they've been doing since 2016, when they had the Russian hoax, the corrupt FBI investigation, the attempted coup with the Colonel Vindman and the impeachment trial. I mean, they've been tormenting President Trump for 7 years now, and it appears there's no end in sight.
Yeah, I want to switch gears, though. Big win for the liberals last night on the Wisconsin State Supreme Court. First, just lay out what does this mean for the pro-life movement, for the state of Wisconsin?
Well, again, the left doesn't view the courts the way conservatives do. We want judges to apply the law and not alter it. That's not how the left views the courts. So now they've taken over the Wisconsin Supreme Court with judicial activists, and so they will rule by judicial fiat, and they'll turn over all of the legislative gains that Republicans have made in the state legislature the Democratic way, by electing legislators and a governor to sign these bills into law. They'll have no problem just using their court now, and they'll overturn all these things like election voter ID, Act 10. It's going to be more and more difficult for a Republican to win statewide, and it's already pretty difficult in the state of Wisconsin, as we just saw last night.
So in her victory speech, this progressive judge spoke about the ground game that helped her win. I want to play a sound for the audience.
It's been over a year in the making. I've been traveling this entire state for the last year. Yeah. I could not have done it without the hard work and dedication of all of you right here in this room.
So let me ask you this. Did Republicans do what they needed to do? Did outside efforts come in? Did outside groups? Did the RNC? Did everyone else step up? Or did they fall short last night in terms of making sure that the Republican side had the resources that they needed?
Well, first of all, she got tens of millions of dollars from outside the state. That was her margin of victory. Plus, she doesn't have to travel all over the state. All they have to do is campaign in Dane County and Milwaukee and mine the votes there, whereas Republicans have to obtain votes from all over the state. It's a much more difficult task. Judge Kelly got 200,000 more votes than Judge Hagedorn got in the 2019 spring election, but he's still 500,000 votes short of what I got last November and 800,000 votes short of where President Trump landed in 2020. And so, we got more votes, but it's awful difficult to overcome their advantage. All they have to do is mine votes from Dane County, and they've got very efficient at that. We do need a different model for running elections here. We can't rely on ads. We have to rely on a very robust ground game. And I would argue we need to do that across the nation. Certainly any state where we expect to pick up a Senate seat, we need a ground game. And I know that doesn't put money in the consultants' pockets, but it's the way to run campaigns. It's certainly the way I'm trying to run my campaigns, and we've been successful.
You have. I guess, though, yes or no, did the outside groups come in and help fund that ground game, or did we fall short? Because I think you're absolutely right. Do we need to learn from this?
John, we obviously fell short. We didn't have, Kelly did not have the resources he needed. He was outspent dramatically by the left. Again, they understood how important this thing was, and unfortunately, conservatives in Wisconsin just didn't come out in the numbers that we needed them to.
Okay. I feel like that they didn't do the Ron Johnson model, right?
again, with limited resources, it's hard, and you've only got a couple-month election. It was unfortunate we had a nasty primary. That was very unfortunate. So we only had a couple months. I know they tapped into as many field staff that we had as they could, but they only got a fraction of the field staff we had. And again, guys, they have the mainstream media not telling the truth about Judge Kelly's, elderly abusing opponent.
All right, Senator, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.